Hey, so, um, Jess here. I don't know if I will post this, and if I do, it'll probably be private, but I'm just sitting here and having some downloads and thinking, and, um, talking to my soul is talking, not my brain or my vessel, my body. So, what's going to be talked might not make any sense for some people, and some people might actually understand what I'm saying, but I'm basically going to be she's basically going to talk to herself as a separate identity. I know that when people talk this way, it does make mental health scary for people, because like they say, like, this is what schizophrenic is, or the famous one is, do you talk to yourself? Yeah, I do, and I answer myself, and that's not the norm, like, that's like, I would say my mom's generation and my dad's, definitely before them, and so their mom and dad's generation, definitely, but mental health, wasn't known that well. What they knew of it is either like possession, evil, or like crazy. And so I think that makes it hard for people to come out as their true self, especially like online and stuff, because, and I'm a perfect example of this. I'm now talking as my mind, my body, and soul. We are one right now. That's how we're talking right now. So us three identities are in one right now. Anyways, so like, I used to post a lot of videos, and I would talk about like mental health type of things. Not like mental health. I'd talk about like my issues on mental health, and there would be moments where I'd post something, and then, I'm not gonna say names, but certain people would go to my mom and they would say, oh my god, did you see what Jess posted? Or, oh my god, you should probably watch what your daughter's posting. Or, ooh, Jess is posting some crazy shit. And so then my mom would come back at me and be like, oh my god, Jess, you can't be posting that. Blah, 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 said this. And I'm like, I'd get so mad and hurt. Not like hurt, but like mad and frustrated. And then I would take the anger out on myself, and then I would do the S word. I've had over 20 of the other S word. The one that has to do with temp on it. And since 2021 was my last one, and I was in a psych hospital, or got put in a psych hospital, and I was there, I think, for 2 weeks, I think it was. But in the psych hospital, I've been in before, but it just seemed like still it was like the same, like nothing's changed, because like the first times I was in it, the same thing as the second time, and they were 2 different completely places too, but it was still like the same type of stuff. Like, you didn't feel like you were being heard, and it was more of like, well, she has this symptom of the mental health, let's give her meds and fix this one. And That's kind of like the issue today as well, is like we just, and it doesn't have to do with mental health either. It can be for physical health as well. We just literally, and I'm horrible admitting to this. I am so horrible. Like, if I have like a symptom or something of something, instead of trying to figure out which is now is what I'm starting to like learn, instead of just like fixing the symptom or like blocking it or whatever with like a med or whatever. I'm also scared to get off my meds, but I know, like, spiritual wise, I feel I need to. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm petrified to get off of them. I just had this conversation today too. But yeah, I'm scared to get off of them because I'm scared of what could happen. And I know in spirituality, like, if you're scared, that's something you're supposed to, go forward, because that's part of the health, that's part of the growth. And so, like, do I tell my doctors I want to stop all my meds? But then what's going to happen? Like, because all the meds are doing, and honestly, like, the fact that I still struggle with mental health and shit, and I'm on all these freaking meds for mental and physical, the mental ones, you'd think by now, like, I'd have it down. I've done so many CBT, cognitive behavior therapy. I've done so many, like, groups. I've been doing therapy since I was, like, 2 years old. I've been on meds since I was, like, 7 or 8 years old. I've had so many of the ST, the S and then the word. I struggled a lot with the SH, the R, and I've had eating disorders, and I still struggle with a freaking eating disorder. It's not considered like an eating disorder, but they don't know what to call it really, because, yeah, and that started when I was like 12, and then my first physical issue was in 7th grade, and then 11th grade got diagnosed with something else, and it just kept going, getting diagnosed with more and more physical and mental diseases. And I'm learning in spiritual, and some of my diseases, my doctors don't even know what to do about it. They just put another med to stop that symptom, block that symptom. But obviously, it's a mind issue, obviously, because in, like, the connections, like the nerves or whatever connecting, and that's how I'm feeling. And when my physical health is bad, then my mental health starts to get bad, and they play each other, they fight each other, and then I'm in my head constantly when that happens, or vice versa. My mental health is like, okay, like, I'm stressed, my plate's starting to get full, and then the physical health says, oh, I'm going to join you too. And then, boom, I'm down. And, like, is that the bipolar part? Like, I don't know. But again, no one's telling me how to take care of the bipolar identity or the anxiety identity. Everything is just a freaking pill after pill just to stop the symptoms. And if you just are stopping the symptoms, then that issue is always going to be there. until you learn how that issue appeared. And that's kind of what I'm learning in, sorry. Sorry. I know I don't have to say sorry, but that's just who I freaking am. But I know in spirituality that I'm learning that your emotions can cause symptoms. So shouldn't we and society's not there yet. I mean, yes, you can find them, but they're freaking expensive. People that, are on disability and stuff like me, we can't afford a spiritual teacher. We can't afford to go on some trip to do some healing, going to Sedona and doing one of their shaman things, or ayahuasca, I think is how you say it. I want to go to one of those events, but I know, one, I can't afford it. Two, I'm scared at the same time. So those two identities are fighting each other, And why am I scared? Well, obviously there's some trauma that is in me for so long, and she has now made herself home, and she, not on purpose, but she added other things to feel like she's protecting me, and the mind is agreeing with her, and so that stops the issues. And that's something I'm learning myself. That's some of the downloads I've been having lately too, is it's all comes down to spiritual again, and having gratitude and thank you for everything, because even if you don't believe in God, there is still, I don't know how people are atheists. I struggle with that one, because I'm how do you really think we're the only ones? We're the only thing. Us alone on Earth, there's already a million things. My brain can't calculate how they don't even believe there's any power at all. There isn't any energy or anything like that at all. My brain can't calculate that. And that's just me. That's my opinion. If I maybe sat down with an atheist, they could explain, and it would click maybe. I don't know, but agnostic people, they still believe in something. So that's why I said, if you don't believe in God or universe, there's still something that is giving a power, an energy, a pulse, whatever you want to call it, into the brain, which I, for spiritual, call it the crown chakra. And then it goes down. But the issue is, if it goes down and it gets stuck in a spot, and mine's definitely my gut area, that I've had issues since I was little. Certain things caused the gut issues, and then it just kind of kept going. And there is probably a lot of trauma goo in it to protect me, so my other two chakras can't get affected. Or my root chakra and my sacral are trying to protect my solar chakra. I don't know. I'm still learning all that, but I know I went off totally of what I was talking about, but I just mental health is not where it should be. And I know people that work in the mental health and have family that also has mental health issues. And some reason they don't collide. They don't, like, they can't put the things together. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, so your mom? No, I'm not talking about my mom. She has her moments, but she is doing a lot better. Because she's meeting, well, working on the psych floor, she's meeting a lot of people like me or think like me and have the same issues as me, or, you know, she's seeing her daughter, and I'm pretty sure she sees my sister too, but probably not my brother because he's perfect. It's a sarcasm joke. The guy never gets sick, and when he does, it's rare, and he's a cancer, but yet I think I've only seen him cry once in my entire life. Like, real cry. So, I've seen his temper. But, yeah, I don't know. But maybe my mom has seen people on the psych floor like him. I don't know. But I wasn't talking about my mom anyways. So, as I was saying, just because I'm talking in a strange way, or I'm saying like I called my vessel a separate person, my soul is a different person, the character is Jess, I'm not Jess, the character's Jess, you know, the mind is separate, like they're all separate and they work together to create this character Jess. And sometimes I do hear or see things, but not like they talk about, like when people hear and see things, oh, well, they have schizophrenia. No, that's not necessarily true. And also on top of that, they could be on a med that's causing that, but no one's looking into that med being the one that's causing that. And now they have this new mental health disease on top. Or even same thing as for physical. You know, no one's looking like, okay, well, why do you have this? You know, you're diagnosed with this. Okay, well, now let's look at why. Like, how did this develop? We gotta go deep, you know, and it's gonna be hard. You're gonna cry, you're gonna get angry, you know, all of that. But in order to heal it, you have to feel it. In order to feel it, you have to communicate about it. And in order to communicate about it, you have to know where it's coming from. And if no one's helping you know where it's coming from, and all they're doing is putting meds in you, then it's like an illusion. It's an illusion. Or a placebo, even. Like, is that med really working? Or do you think it's just working, so then it ends up working, but it has all these bad side effects? Like, I have over 30 different mental and physical diseases put together, okay? And I'm 33. And I've had this, like I said, my first issue physical-wise that I can remember is 7th grade. I can't remember what age that is. But yeah, and first time being on meds that I can remember for my mental health was about 7 or 8 years old. First time being in therapy, I can remember as being 2 years old. And I actually talked about all this in my book I wrote. But as I'm saying is, in society, all they're doing is covering things up. They're putting a blinder over there. They're blocking the eyes. They're blocking the truth. They're, and no one's trying to. And if there is people that are doing this, like going in deeper and stuff, then it's the wealthy people. Not wealthy, but like, the rich people, because they can afford people that can go into that stuff and go deep, And as society, I think if you really, really want to be a humanitarian and help people, and you have all this freaking money, then do something to help with the insurance, to help with the healthcare, to help with like the pharmacy meds, to help with just like living, like God, higher up, angel, whatever you want to call that, did not send you here for you to have to constantly be on like a roller coaster, basically, and you only get a few times of freedom. Like, we're all exhausted. We're all like, majority of us on this earth are probably old souls. The word old soul. I've been called an old soul since I was little. Like, what does that mean? Is that something bad? Like, oh, well, that means they haven't learned their lessons yet, and they keep repeating them. Or does it mean, oh, that person's really wise and they know a lot? I don't know, because if you know too much, but you don't have the confidence, then people aren't going to give a shit. Like, they don't believe you. They're like, whatever. But then if you have that confidence and show things, then people are going to believe you. They're, they're not going to, like, they're not going to think you crazy because, oh, you're wise and you have confidence. But you can be wise and not have confidence, and you can also have confidence and not be wise. That's the thing. And that's just like mental health. Just because this person is seeing or talking to things that you're not seeing doesn't necessarily mean that it's a mental health issue. Especially if you believe in like psychics and mediums and all that. Like, to me, I personally believe mental health is just psychic abilities, and the body has not learned to, the pineal gland, the body, the brain, they have not learned to like work together as one. So the body's like, whoa, wait, what's going on here? Wait, they're hearing this, wait, what? And so the body freaks out, and then when the body's freaking out, that's when the brain's freaking out, or the brain's freaking out, and then the body freaks out. I'm guessing the brain freaks out first, and then sends the signals to the body, and then the body freaks out. That would make more sense. But, yeah, I have a lot of people in my family, which I honestly didn't know this for a long time, because I was like too embarrassed to bring this up. There was only a few people in the family that we would talk about like psychic ability things and stuff like that, and like the weird things that would happen in our lives and stuff. But we didn't talk about it to anyone else outside. Like, it took me a long time to even talk about it with my therapist, and thank God the therapist I had at the time, when I did bring that stuff up, she like understood, and she didn't say, oh no, you have like this crazy new mental health thing, we better put meds on it, It was never that type of thing. And sadly, that's what society does. And like I said, we need to learn to figure out why the person has the symptom. like, if you have a disease, like, I have psoriatic arthritis, I have fiber, I have osteoarthritis, and I have rheumatoid arthritis. I have tons more things, but, like, those main ones, okay, they all have different names. They all have some similar symptoms. If they have a similar symptom, then obviously something is being triggered, and higher up maybe is trying to communicate to you that, hey, look at this symptom. Hey, the symptom needs help. This symptom is causing issues in your body. Oh, we're just going to give you another disease until you learn that this symptom is, but you're not learning because all they're doing is taking a med and blocking that symptom. And then either the symptom gets mad because it's constantly fighting now, because it's like, no, I need you to hear this. You're stuck. You're not going to get unstuck. It's not going to move until you hear this, until you figure this out. I'm trying to warn you. And then eventually the med doesn't work anymore because that symptom fought so freaking hard. And so now, like, resistant. There you go, resistant. And so now you're put on another one. Oh, well, let's try this one. See how this one goes. And it's just a continuous cycle. And for some people are on it, this continuous cycle their entire life. And like I said, I feel like I've been on it my entire freaking life. And I'm exhausted physically and mentally. And I have so many appointments. I have staffs and doctors that are even saying to me, you have so many appointments. Is there a way that you can get less appointments? Is there a way that you can have more time so you can do that? I don't know. Obviously, I need help because I don't know the answer to these things. Obviously, I can't just say, oh, well, I'm not going to go to that appointment, because then if I don't go to that appointment, then all of a sudden there's something wrong with Jess because she's skipping this appointment, or that issue is not getting fixed. That symptom is not being covered, and then you're just slowly going to get worse and worse and worse and worse, and eventually, bye. And you know what I mean by bye, but that's the issue. The first step is to admit you have the issue. Absolutely. You admit you have an issue. So after you've been diagnosed with something and they're giving you meds to block it or help the symptom or whatever, then you should focus on, okay, I have this issue. What's causing this issue? And some people need help with that. I am one of them. Help me. Tell me what is causing this bipolar roller coaster, high vibration, low vibration thing. Like, what is making it go boom, 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 up and down, up and down, up and down? Like, what is causing that? And when I do, like, speak up and, like, you know what? I know there's going to be certain people watching this, and they're going to go, oh, no, Jess is having another manic episode. Oh, Jess is having a manic episode. Oh, and then they're going to, it's either that certain person's going to say something, or they're going to go to a certain person, and then that person's going to bring it up, and then it's going to get back to, and then all my staff are going to be told that, and then, and my therapist and my psychologist and all that, they're going to be told, oh, Jessica's having a manic episode, we better get her some meds. What's so wrong about a manic episode? Because when I'm manic, I love it. And I don't feel manic right now. I'm just saying. But when I'm manic, I'm also more creative. I feel more motivated. I feel more, like, good. But then I'm sitting there, like, disliking myself. Not disliking myself. Mad at myself. Because I'm like, oh no, I'm manic. Alright, I better hide it. I gotta control it. And there's times where it comes out and I can't, like, I'm like literally shaking, like I can't, and I can't stop talking, and I can't just, and people think you control that as well. No, like, you tell me. I actually brought this up the other day because I was thinking about it, and I was like, you're at a concert, okay? And your favorite star, idol, whatever is on the stage, right? Right freaking in front of you, okay? And there's people next to you. So you're standing up enjoying the concert, right? Actually, this is kind of like the Adele situation that happened. Okay, so you're enjoying the concert, right? But the people next to you, they've seen this star so many times. They've met the star so many times. They possibly even know this star. I don't know. But, like, they're just there to enjoy the time. You're over here freaking out, screaming, putting your arms out, you know. Now they come to you and they're like, hey, your energy is being too much for us. You need to calm down. We're trying to watch the show. We're trying to listen. And then you freeze. And you calm down. You explain to me how you can do that. Because if there's people out there that can do that, they have no empathy, I guess. I don't know. Because especially if there's a lot of people around, when there's a lot of people around, I either get, like, start to feel anxious and just, like, I can feel my body just, like, getting very worrisome and, like, just high alert. Or it's a switch around and I'm, like, what people would call manic. And then there'll be people around as well that will either, when I'm feeling the anxious part one, like, they don't really even, like, notice, and I struggle to ask for help, you know, like, hey, I'm struggling right now, can we, like, go sit somewhere, or, like, can we take a breather, or, but when I'm being manic, and it's more, you need to calm down, you need to slow down, oh, you're being loud, you're whatever, you know. And not just my family does this, by the way, because I know there's going to be family members that watch this and they're going to be like, oh, they're talking about me. I'm not, no. And again, who cares? That's the other thing I struggle with, is, like, why do people care what other people think? You know, and I know I have my moments, but it's not so much, like, intense wise. It's more of when I'm having a manic, like, episode, I'm, like, nervous because I'm like, okay, you're supposed to control this, you're supposed to hide it, you're supposed to not show people, you know, and then it explodes. And that's completely opposite the other way too. Like, if I'm having a manic low and I don't do anything as well, and I'm, like, trying to hide it as well, like, act like, oh, everything's fine, you know, like, just going on with the day, it eventually explodes too. And I think that's kind of what happened these last 2 weeks. It was last week and this week. So I think that's kind of what happened, is I exploded. I exploded 3 times now. And 2 of them, thank goodness, it was around, like, staff/therapist. And every time it's been more like I don't see it coming. Like, I'll just be talking and then it just kind of hits or whatever. But, like, if we are spiritual beings, if we are really spiritual beings, because, like, nobody knows the real full truth, because it's not like someone died and then they came back and they told us, because what you believe is what you're going to see and feel and all that, you know. So, like, I don't know. I just wonder, I struggle with the fact that people are like, they say that bipolar is bad and borderline is bad and all that, but what it is, again, like fear can be good and bad, because fear can protect you. It can keep you safe from certain things, but it can also make you miss out on a lot of things too. Anxiety is the same way. Anxiety is a way to protect you, but then it can also go the opposite and make you freak out. And the difference between bipolar and borderline, the biggest difference is they're both a roller coaster. It's just that bipolar is a low state, and then you're up here for a while, and then you go down, and you stay down here for a while, and then you back up, and you stay for, and that's the bipolar. But the borderline is woo, woo, woo. And so I have borderline tendencies. What if that's just all bipolar completely? Or what if it's all just borderline completely? But again, back to what I'm saying is, if I have those symptoms and all you're doing is taking a med, giving me a freaking med that's supposed to level them out, so I'm right here, just modern, just boring, no excitement, no energy, no, just, I'm a zombie, I'm just here. You're not fixing the issue in the first place. Like, what if, again, back to what I was saying, spiritual-wise, for spiritual beings, and we came here to experience a human experience, wouldn't you have roller coasters or high moments and low moments? Wouldn't you have that? And so we're trying to stop it, we're trying to block it, but if you're doing that, is that taking you away from God? Well, I call it God, I call it universe. Is that taking you away from divine source? Because you're not fixing that symptom, you're just blocking what's causing that symptom. But you don't know what's causing that symptom, or you don't know why that symptom appeared, because that symptom appeared to protect you somehow. Like if you're in pain and you take a pill to block that pain, well, that pain's still there. Whatever caused it's still there. But if you just keep taking the meds, it's going to keep blocking it, and so you're never going to even know, and then eventually whatever it was warning you about, it's just going to collapse, explode, break, whatever, Same for mental health. And like I said, in society, we automatically, when there's a mental health, depending what level they're at as well, they're either in a psych hospital, or they're in meds in psych hospital, or they're in just some meds. And we're supposed to just go on like normal. But no. I don't agree with that, because you're just staying in the same spot. Again, that's what spiritual source divine is as well. If you're here to experience, then you need to experience different things, but you can't experience different things if you have issues that are stopping you from experiencing those different things. But the issues started, why? What caused that to start? What in your childhood caused this and this symptom? Physical or mental, Like someone that's diagnosed with cancer even. Okay, well, that spot that it's in, obviously there's something going on there. And what is causing it? Was it Is it something like a physical, like maybe, I don't know, something broke and there's scar tissue there and you never knew it broke because you blocked it with the pain? Or did something happen that you're not talking about and your subconscious remembers, but you don't personally remember, but you need to heal from it because that's causing an issue, like stress. You know, you've heard how stress can cause physical symptoms. Okay, well, why are you stressed? What's your brain telling you? Your mind telling you in those moments? Okay? All right, we got what it's telling you. Now let's figure out, why is it telling you this? Why do you think you thought of this? Well, this happened, and then it caused that. Okay, so now we got that fixed. And then take another step. You know, that's what they should be doing. I think, isn't that what, like, hypnosis therapy does? Like, what are they called? Those ones that can, like, they go in your, like, your past lives and stuff like that. Like they talk, like, that way. Isn't that the same type of thing? Excuse me. Because what they're doing, excuse me, I'm releasing, people are going to go, oh, that's crazy, but then there's other people going to understand this, but I'm releasing energy, I'm releasing stuck, stiff energy, because I'm getting out what I need to get out. I'm speaking my truth, I'm speaking my words, I'm saying what I've been trying to say, and I was just holding in because the fact that I'm scared that certain people, but why should I care about those certain people, think, because the way they think is their own perspective, because everyone's a mirror of you. So if someone has an issue with something I say or do, and same vice versa, if I have an issue with someone saying something or doing something, then that's on me. That's on me. Why? Now we figure out, okay, why do I have this issue? Because it triggers me. Okay, so why does it trigger you? Because so-and-so said this as a child and it affected me this way. Okay, now we know. Now you're older, you're conscious of it. So when you're triggered, think about that thing that triggered it and heal from that. Let that go. You know, like something like that. But yeah, so like I'm releasing, we call them demons. I'm releasing things, so that's why excuse me, as I'm talking. But as I was saying, is like, we don't, I'm sorry I say like a lot. We don't look for the deeper meaning. We just take the surface. We do the illusion, and no one, and there's people out there too, and I'm not saying just me, like, I sometimes fall for the illusions too, I'm not gonna lie, but there's people out there that sometimes there are people out there that actually see the illusion but don't give a shit. They're like, I don't care, I'm gonna stay in this illusion, I'm not gonna worry about that, I'm not gonna worry about that. And I know in therapy that's what you're taught too. But again, that's not love. That's not being one. That's not Christ conscious. That's not higher power, divine, you know, because what you're doing is basically ignoring the issue, which is exactly what you're doing with your own body. And mental health as well, is we're ignoring the issue. We're putting a blocker on the symptom. So now the symptom can't warn me anymore. And now that it can't warn me, it can't affect me. But if it can't affect me, then I can't grow. And if I can't grow, then what's the whole point of being a spiritual being, experiencing the experience human? You know, like, again, why did we choose to do that? I don't know. The people that are the chosen ones and the star seeds, we believe the black sheeps of the family, you know. But then also at the same time, like, there is no black sheep of the family because we're all experiencing different things in our own perspective. So, like, from my perspective, it could look like I'm the black sheep of the family. And yeah, there can be people outside saying, yeah, you are the black sheep of the family. But then from someone else in the family, it could look like they're the black sheep of the family. And they've also had people tell them they're the black sheep of the family. You know, it's all about different perspectives. And so, like, at the same time, is like, is there even a chosen one? But then I always go back to the story that happened to me before I was born that makes me confused, because I want to believe it's real because I have faith and I believe in God and the power and all of that. And if it is real, then there's a bigger meaning for my life. But I also don't want to be like, oh, well, that's ego thinking. And I think I talked about that in my last video. Like, that's ego thinking then. And then I'm back to, why? Why do I feel like it's an ego thinking? Okay, well, let's figure out the reason why. Because I don't feel special. I don't feel... I'm not going to start crying again. I don't feel enough. Like, why would God choose me to be the chosen one? You know, what's so special about me? But then it's going back to, okay, again, it's not you, because this isn't you. Your soul, mind, body is all one. That makes you. But when they're apart and separate, then it's not you, because then they're just each just identity. And you gotta put the identity together. The triangle, as well as you wanna, or third eye, or all seeing eye. You want it to, you want it as one. And it's hard to do as the one because all we do is we put an illusion on. And when there's an illusion, then we're basically ignoring, not to mean to do it on purpose too. Sometimes it's not on purpose. We're ignoring the other side. But shouldn't we be aware of the other side and then want to help the other side? You know, like, I also, the other one that I constantly, like, okay, so I haven't talked to anyone about this, not even my cousin. I'm constantly seeing in my eye, and actually I went to Disney on Ice yesterday with my mom and my niece, and during the performance of Moana, and you know, in the movie where, like, the water splits, which is like Jesus split the Red Sea, so it splits, and then that demon or whatever comes towards her, and you hear the song, like, been waiting for this my whole life, I've searched whatever to find you, blah blah blah. Like, I started crying during the performance, and I don't know why, and I'm still trying to figure out why. Like, why did I feel so emotional for that? At the same time, like, right now at this moment, like, it's connecting. I constantly have, not visions, but, like, I even have vivid dreams with this, but I constantly see the split, and the split connects to me is the feminine and the masculine side, and that's what Jesus, Christ conscious, was trying to teach everyone, is that you don't have to have the masculine and feminine together. You can separate them. You can give and take. You give and take, balance. Or it's having together and balance. I'm not really sure, but I constantly see it like separate. Like I'm constantly seeing like men should be separated and females should be separated. But at the same time, then that's not right either, because they should be together as well. And like there's people like there's the spectrum of different sexual orientations, you know, like I'm demisexual, to be honest. And so I do like masculine and I do like feminine. And I like a female who can act like a masculine and a man who can act like a feminine. Like none of that bugs me. But what bugs me is when people try to, I'm struggling to explain this. I constantly see the division. I constantly see the separation. And I don't know if that's just because that's the perspective I'm seeing in my universe, my life, because that's what surrounds me. Or if it, again, had to do with anything that happened when I was little. And then that's why I've always been half awake my whole life and then fully awake. Because I always saw both sides. Is it because that moment the masculine and feminine got to meet, and then since it met and told that it's not supposed to be, and then told it is supposed to be, that it's got my brain going, what? I'm confused. And so, yeah, and then like the whole things that like happens to all the children. Like, again, there's people that are aware of this and they're not doing anything. They're not even, they're focusing on things that don't even freaking should matter, you know? Like they're focusing on material things instead of focusing on this child. Like, is this child gonna have a place to sleep tonight? You know, like, if you can help, you should help. You know, like I don't have a lot of money. I'm on disability, like I said. But like when you go somewhere and they're like, hey, do you want to donate $1 to blah blah? I can donate $1. And at least I'm helping some way. I'm not just being naive or ignoring the issue, you know? Like I'm not going, oh, no, I don't want to donate. No. I'm not ignoring it. I'm being like, okay, yes, I can help. I'm going to help. I can't help a lot. But hey, this little makes a difference. And if everybody could do this $1, that can make a huge difference. You know, that's the thing. If everybody took $1 and donated to not even donate, just give it to every person in the world. I know there's a lot of people, but just pretend. Everybody would be wealthy. Everybody. And that's the other thing too. And like, technically, electricity is free. And we've been duped to think it's not. Same for water and all that other stuff out there. And there's the people that choose to completely ignore the reality of things and just stay in the illusion. But if you're doing that, then again, like I said, how are you growing or experiencing, if we're a spiritual being experiencing a human experience? If you are doing the same thing every day, routine, and I know a lot of people are like some people like routine. Okay, that's fine. Do routine then. I'm not someone that likes routine, but I also don't like a lot of chaos either. You know, I like it planned and organized, so I can like be prepared. Makes me feel better when I can be prepared. But if it's just sort of surprise, I'm like, depending on what the surprise is, I'm very uncomfortable and like feel like I have to like say nonstop like thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and I'll even hear, well, okay, that's enough, you don't say thank you anymore, but I feel like I have to. Or the other thing is like I feel like okay, well, you did this thing for me, I have to do something for you, and then I'm hitting myself in the hole again because I ended up, well, I had to. But why do I, it's not I had to, it's like a, I don't know if you can call it an impulse, but it's like a OCD. Like, okay, this person did this for me. I gotta help them out somehow. I don't know what, but I gotta. And where does that come from that I have that like OCD to do that? Like what is the underlining of doing that? Excuse me. Because again, boundaries. You know, some people are really good at boundaries, but how are they having a boundary and not hurting the boundary thing? You know what I mean? Like, they say love someone from a distance, you know, type of thing. So you're putting a boundary so you're not letting that person affect you anymore. But you're feeling bad then because, one, that person's confused. They don't understand. Like, why do you not want to be around me? Like, what did I do? And then they're in their head and all sad and stuff. When right from the beginning, you could have just said the truth on why you having this boundary. But before telling that, you need to figure out why you're having this boundary. What is it that's making you think, oh, you gotta have a boundary here? Is it society? Because it's something society said we gotta have a boundary here? Or is it something that you made yourself? Is it something that you created an identity as to protect yourself in somehow, or to fix something in your childhood, or, you know, something like that? So, like, basically what I'm saying is we need to look deeper at why something developed and started before just slapping a med right on it, you know? Or before just slapping a wound right on it. Or if it's a wound, slapping stuff right on it. You know what I meant. But, you know, like, it's random scenario. Someone's sitting and they get up and then, actually that happened to me. I was sitting and I stood up and I heard and I could barely walk, and I was like I'd walk and then I would like catch myself, but it would like jerk or whatever. And so literally that day, I'm crying because I was in pain, and then when I wasn't in pain, it was more like, something's wrong here. This doesn't feel right. And so I called my mom up, and instead of the doctors figuring out what caused the issue, what caused my lower spine to twist just when I stood up, it was a simple, got an adjustment, and then pain meds. That was it. Okay, well, and see, I've always been, but I've never spoke up, but I've always been, okay, well, why? And I can't say I've never spoken up and said why. Because I do a lot of whys. Like, when people say things, I'm like, why? I don't understand. Why? Like, I'm still like a child going, why? 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 Like, who decided that? Like, wait, what? Why? Like, who decided everything? I know we're all going to be like, oh, the elites, you know? But, like, really? who decided everything? Who decided what's good? Who decided what's bad? Who decided this is up, this is down? Why isn't this up and that down? Just because we were standing? But again, who decided that, like, I've actually had this conversation with my cousin. What if everything in the universe is switched? It's upside down. Like, right now we're living in the underworld. Or opposite, we're living in heaven. And heaven hasn't been made yet. Or, I don't know, like, everything's opposite. Like, they tell you, that's probably why I love Miley so much, because she is someone that, like, when she was told, not she was told, but society told her to do something this way, she was like, screw you, I'm gonna do it my own way. And I've been that way my whole life too. And I think she has shown, whether she really does have confidence, I 100% think she does, but her confidence shows she's gonna do it her way. And she does not care if you think her way is not gonna work. She knows and believes her way is gonna work, so she's gonna do it her way. Who decided that I had to do it this way? Who said that? Some random person said, all right, the rules are this, 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 and this. The only one that has the power can do that, which I call God, And he's not good or bad. That's what I believe. As above, so below, type of thing, High and then you're low. So when you pass the say, are you going high? Or are we going low? Because, like, are we falling or are we floating? Or is it opposite? Even though it feels like you're floating, you're actually falling. Because you're going up or down. And you know what I mean? It's so hard to actually explain it. But, like, what if everything's opposite? Like, north is that way. For where I'm at. North is that way. South that way. What if that was switched? What if it's flipped? Or, what if none of it's here? None of it's real. All of it's an illusion. Like, every single thing. Like, my phone, what I'm talking right now, all of it, everything. Like, again, nobody knows the real truth. And we all sit here and act like we know the truth. And at the same time, the people that are like, are just freaking like robots and clones and zombies and doing whatever they're not connecting at all. They're just, And then you have the other ones that are like kind of connecting, but they're living in constant fear because they're only focusing on what they just found out. I just had download. So they're only focusing on what just found out, and they're staying there. They're not moving and like researching more or whatever, And my download I just clicked that's exactly what bipolar and borderline is. Except for bipolar, you're deciding to stay there for a while. Manic, blah, 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 or depression, blah, blah, blah. Where borderline, you're there and you're like, oh, okay, back down. Oh, okay, back up. Oh, okay, back down. Because we're tapping in to those moments of unfairness, I guess you could say. And that's a big one that I've always struggled with since I was very little, is like the fairness. Like, I'm very strict on if I have something and it has to be shared, I will make sure it's either split perfectly, divided, or when I divide it and it's like hard to get it perfect, like if you broke a cookie in half, you know, or something like that, I'm always like, oh, here, you can have the bigger one. And sometimes they'll be like, no, you can have it, or they're like, thanks. I've always been that way. I've always kind of thought of the other person before myself. I've always put the other people in front of me, I guess you could say. Yes, I know, you shouldn't do that. But then, back to, okay, if you shouldn't do that, then you're being selfish. So it's either you can be selfish or you can be fair. How do you, because that's exactly what is the feminine and masculine come together. The two sides, the right and left hemisphere coming together, where you balance it. And I struggle to figure out, how do you balance it? How do I stay and keep my compassion, caring, loving heart, but still be able to put boundaries up and protect myself and stand up for myself? Because when you do that side, to me, I'm like hurting that person then. And I'm not meaning to hurt that person. I'm just telling the truth. That's one thing too, is I tell the truth, and I tell sometimes too much of the truth. Especially depending on what it is too. Like if you tell me something and it's something that either I know it's not a big deal if you just told that person. Just tell them. Who cares? But to everybody else, that's a big deal. But to me, I'm like, just freaking tell them. Who cares? This is not a secret. This is a communication issue. You need to speak up. Or B, if it's something that, you know, like, not too good of secret, as in, like, you know what I mean? Like, hurting in a certain way, or you got hurt in a certain way. I'm pretty sure you know what I mean. Then I'm gonna tell. I won't keep those secrets. I won't. But then if you tell me a secret that, like, secret, like, about a surprise party, or, so-and-so's music is gonna be coming out, or so-and-so's coming to our town, or, I don't know, just like secrets like that. Or let's say you tell me a secret, like you have a crush on so-and-so and you don't want anyone knowing. I know that's kind of childish, but that's still, why is that childish? There's still people today that do have that, even when they're like 50, 60 years old. Like, they'd be like, he's cute. You know, like, we're all, that's the other thing too, is we are all still kids. We're all still children, growing and learning. Just because you're 50 years old does not mean you're a 50-year-old adult. That's just something society slapped on us. You know? Like, you could be born at a higher vibration than everybody else that already was born, and then you're 1 year old in the human society view, but really you're like 20 years old in spirit, you know, like that. And I think that's what an old soul means. I don't know, but we're just getting this video too long. And yeah, if you did watch the whole way, leave your comments, but Let's see, what's your favorite inspiring word? Mine is definitely faith, and then my second is believe and pray, which is actually on my tattoo. But faith is definitely my number one favorite inspiring word. Or quote. You could, yeah, comment your favorite inspiring word, or excuse me, or inspiring quote. You got some advice, I would love to hear that as well, on like anything, if you're feeling the same way, or like, I don't know, just, I'm here for ya, and in some strange way you are here for me, whoever's watching this. So whoever's watching this, thank you for basically being my therapist and listening as I rant about, not rant, I was venting as well, but just talking about like my confusions. And some of it I do talk about it with my actual therapist. Some of it I've talked about it with my parents. I've talked about it with my cousins, or my cousin, my just one certain cousin. But I'm very careful than compared to how I used to be on when I talk about certain things with certain people. Like I've learned, sometimes I still mess up, but I've learned, like, okay, I can't talk about this because they're not on this frequency, or they're not on this timeline, or they totally don't understand, or they're not open-minded, or like, yeah. But anyways, okay, so my question was, what's your most favorite inspiring word or inspiring quote? And comment green. If you do a green heart, that's even better, because I have a thing about green hearts. For a while I was obsessed with purple hearts. Now I'm obsessed with green hearts. I don't know, like, if you check all my social medias, like, yeah, you'd be like, yeah, yep, green hearts. So if you want to comment a green heart, that's fine too. Or just write the word green, or send an emoji that's green, or to let me know that you watched the full video. And if you watch the full video and you don't want to put anything, don't. I do that sometimes. I'll be like, if you watch the full video, comment this, and I'm like, nah, but I watched it. Yeah. The other thing that I don't do, try not to do anyways, is like, so if I go to a channel and I'm gonna watch their video, and I decide, oh, this is interesting, I'm gonna watch more of their videos, I subscribe before I watch more of their videos. And then while I'm watching more of their videos, if I end up like, nah, this isn't my, then I'll unsubscribe. Because for me, I believe doing that is also helping them out as well. Because, like, let's say they were praying and asking God for more views, or more financial type of help or something. Okay, he answered their prayer through me. So, like, or she, they, universe, God, whatever. I call God, remember? They sent their light through me to help me answer that person's prayer without me realizing that I was doing that work. And that's what I believe. That's from my perspective of what I believe, my opinion. And everyone else is different. And that's a big thing too, is, I'm sorry, this happens where I say I'm gonna go and then I keep going. The last one, I promise. That's a big thing that I've always, shit, I forgot what I was saying now. I got distracted because I was like, oh my god, just stop. Ugh. And I was like, I can't stop. See, like, that's what I mean by, like, sometimes it's so hard to stop when you get going. when you have so much like energy that you need to get out, and it's just like what do I do? Like, do I scream? Do I punch? Do I swear? Do I puke? Do I spit? Do I go to sleep? Do I, like, no one was taught the proper way of what to do when you have so much energy built up in you. Some people will say, oh, well, you go run. Okay, well, there's certain things that people can't run because they have asthma, or they don't have certain, they have certain disabilities that make it hard for them to be able to run, or people would say, you go, a lot of times it's the exercise thing, and sometimes there's people, and there's people out there that can't do the exercise thing to get it out. So how do they get it out? Well, then they're going to have to use their vocals. They're going to have to get it out that way. Okay? Well, society, it's not normal to scream. So what are they going to do? They're going to talk and talk and talk and talk, and their energy, because the energy's going to come out somehow. And that's how it is for me. Like, it just gets to, it needs to come out. Like, I can tell I'm like, right now, I am, I can't, I am watching my body do things right now, and I'm like telling my body, like, stop. I'm dissociating right now, because I am so connected. High. I'm not high, but I'm like manic high right now. Like, I think maybe I finally got out of the middle depression manic episode, and I'm slowly moving up to the high one now, which, yay, because I'll be able to finish my book, my second part of my book. Like, I'll actually be able to, like, get it written down, not just have it, bottled up and trying to put all the pieces together and stuff. I'll actually, like, I'm seeing it, I'm hearing it, I'm feeling it, but my hand just does not want to take a pencil and start writing. I'm a lefty, by the way. My hand doesn't want to just start writing, and I don't know why. So, like, I know I'm slowly getting there, and I think it's because, one, I've had these explosions. I stopped faking it till you make it, and I'm so bad at doing that, like, put the smile on, be positive. Sometimes I don't even realize I'm putting the smile on and being positive, Sometimes I don't even realize. Sometimes I just speak and I don't even, like, know what I'm saying, or, like, communicating, I guess you could say. When it comes to, like, spiritual type of things, sometimes I'm just talking and I don't know. And then when I'm talking, sometimes I'll like feel myself or notice myself, like, okay, be careful what you just said. Oh, you said it. Oh, how's it gonna go? And I'm like inside my body going, how are they taking that? Are they are they gonna like that? But on the outside, I'm just like, I said it. I don't give a shit. It was the truth. Or, why do you care? Or, I don't know. Is that what facing your shadows is? Is willing to, but then my therapist says, she said, and I thought that was pretty interesting, because I thought, again, that goes back to, like, the whole story, like, what makes me so special type of thing. But she said, because I told her I want to start working on my shadow work, but I really don't know what that means necessarily, and I don't know, like, how to start. And she said, honestly, basically she said that you don't really have a dark shadow side. I don't really see a dark shadow side in you. You maybe have a little tiny, but for the most part, you have more light. And I don't know if that's true, but but there's moments where I do like, to me, have shadow sides, because if I didn't, then why am I where I am? And then I think about, well, okay, it's God's plan. And then I'm back to, well, isn't this how it's supposed to be? Isn't it supposed to be up and down, up and down, up and down? But we should all be working together, because when we work together, that's even more energy connecting. And then when the energy is connecting, and depending what the energy is, the intention, we're all focusing on like love and happy and smile and joy, then the energy will, and it will explode everywhere. And yeah, and it's everyone's, it's kind of like a spiritual awakening. You know, like, and back to like chosen ones or star seeds, we believe that that is the whole reason why we chose, or was it God sent us, but that's the whole reason why we're here. That's our purpose. And that's why a lot of times, a lot of chosen people struggle a lot, like me. Like, we have tons of mental and physical diseases. And it's back to like, why? Like there's a pattern here. Like, people are not seeing this pattern, or they're seeing this pattern and they're totally ignoring it. And that's kind of what I was just kind of getting at, is like, that's what we do. We all, just including myself, we just ignore the, like, bigger issue or the pattern or whatever. I don't do that too much, honestly. When it comes to me, I get advice, I'm like open, but sometimes I'm triggered, but still open, like, to hear it. And if something like bad happens and it's not me, I'm always like that positive one telling you, like, stay positive, this is God's plan, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to myself, I have to constantly remind myself that. But at the same time, then I'm back to, like, why do I have to remind myself that? Because when I remind myself that, then that's going against the meds that are help me not to do that. And then therefore, it's back to the two sides fighting again, because confused, like, do you do this or do you do that? It's kind of like when you grow up and your parents tell you not to do something, but then they go and do it. So and like my stepdad says all the time, monkey see, monkey do. So, like, as a child, you see your parent do this, but, or he says monkey see, monkey do, and he grew up as it's being told monkey see, but do as I say. But don't do as, or I can't remember the exact word, but it's saying, you do what I say, but don't follow me, is how he grew up. And so, back to what I was saying, is like, so we see something, and because we saw it as a child and no one taught us that you don't do this or whatever, you end up doing it, and then you end up getting in trouble because you did it, so you're told not to do it. So yet you're seeing other people do it. So then you're confused and you're like, wait a minute. Am I not supposed to do this, or am I allowed to do this? Because why can they do this and I can't do this? That's not fair. It's back to my fair thing. Anyways, I'm really sorry how long this is. And again, if anyone actually truly watches it, which there's so many people in the world, so someone, like someone in the moment needed it and it showed up on their feed or something. I don't know. That's God's timing, again. But, yeah, anyways, back to what I said at the question. I'm really gonna end it, I promise. Who knows, maybe I start another video and talking more stuff, but this video is getting long enough. She's almost 1 hour and a half long. So she's gonna be fun to upload. I should title her Faith. I'm gonna title her Faith. Okay, so back to what I said. Inspire is another one of my favorite words. I know the just. So what's your favorite inspiring word or favorite inspiring quote? And so you can do either one. It doesn't have to be both. And then if you watch the full video to the end, comment green. You can either write it, or you can do an emoji, or send a picture with it, or I don't know. Can you send pictures in the comments? I don't know. Or a GIF with it. If you can send GIFs, I don't know. But anything to do with green, because I don't know why, but all of a sudden there's this green heart obsession. Okay, love you. Bye. Peace. Bye.